Hello everyone, my name's Ethan Colbert with Century 21 Parker and Scroggins Realty. Today we have the Grant County Gang here with another interview. I have John and Amanda. They are the owners and CEOs of Arkansas Mobile RV Service. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the floor over to them and let them describe their business a little bit. So John, will you go ahead? How are you doing today?
Doing fine, thank you.
Great. So can you describe your business a little bit? Kind of tell us what it does for the community and what's your goal, vision of the business?
Sure. I own a on-site mobile RV service and repair business. Instead of folks having to hitch up and drop their RV off at a dealership for 2 or 3 months until it gets fixed, just waiting in line, I travel to the individual and do the repairs on-site, typically within, if not the same day, typically within a few days of whenever they call.
That's awesome. So to kind of deep dive into that, do you have parts on site already, or do you kind of go and do like a little consultation and assessment first and then say, hey, this is what I'm going to need in order to get it fixed here without y'all moving it? How does that work?
Well, ideally, I carry the parts with me. Obviously, I can't stock all the parts.
Yeah.
If I know that I'm not going to have the parts in stock, like for instance on an awning arm or something that was damaged by the wind. There's so many different types of awnings and whatnot that I'll obviously have to order the part, but a lot of times I'll be able to identify it by photographs. The customer can send me photographs and I'll ask them some questions. I may ask for some more photos or some details, but with a little help from them, I can typically identify the part without actually having to make a second trip, and it saves them time, it saves me time, and it expedites the process. But for the most part, I do keep parts for general repairs and maintenance on the truck. That way, whenever I get to a site, I can make sure that I'm prepared to fix whatever I run into.
Yeah, that's very handy. That's awesome. And the use of technology nowadays just makes it that much easier for you to be able to have all the details that you need in order to facilitate the success of the job. So that's really cool that we're able to do this so easily nowadays, or relay information back and forth so easily nowadays. Amanda, how are you doing with it?
Good.
Doing
really nice.
Yeah.
Because he can make his own hours, so we get to spend a lot of time together with our family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do y'all have kids, if I may ask? Oh, awesome. 3?
Yeah.
I have a 2.5-year-old, so
Oh, yeah.
he's a boy and he's full of energy. All right, so what made you decide to open this business in particular? Did you see a need for it in our market, or that there's trailers everywhere? So,
well, I worked in the RV business for a long time at a dealership, and when I became the manager of the dealership, I got to hear a lot of the complaints, and there was a lot of consistency in what was being said. One of the most common complaints was whenever someone would have an issue, they would call up to the dealership and speak to the service department, and the first thing they were told was, well, you've got to bring it in and drop it off. And for a lot of people, that's a hassle, but for some people it's impossible, because we've got a lot of folks that are living in campers nowadays, whether they're in a great big RV or if they're just living in a camper at an RV park. And we have a local RV park that is full of folks that can't take their home in and drop it off. So having someone available that can come out there and that's familiar with all of the systems on the RV and able to repair those systems is very important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know because obviously I'm affiliated and situated in everything real estate. So I know that I've gotten quotes on just moving and transporting some of those RVs and everything, if they're broken down, if it's one of those that you hook up, or if it's a drivable one. Either way, they're $7,000 just to transport if you've got to hook it up and move it to and that's only within 30 minutes proximity too. So I mean, if you have to do a big haul, maybe relocated across states, and that's a major expense already. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's really cool. Well, how did you get started? And what made this come to fruition for you?
It kind of blends into working at the dealership. Getting started in service kind of happened naturally. I was selling quite a few whenever I was working in sales. Wanted to make sure that my units were perfect whenever the customer came to pick them up. And it just seemed like there was always something that wasn't quite finished and ready for them. The service department didn't quite get it all done. So rather than running back and forth trying to find a technician to fix things, I ended up starting to learn about them and fix them myself. And it saved time, saved a lot of hassle, but also taught me a lot. And then, like I said, when I became manager and started hearing all the complaints about not wanting to drop it off, and the lengthy time periods in which they were sitting there waiting to be serviced, I just kind of thought to myself that this might be something I wanted to do. There were other mobile techs too that came in to the dealership while I was working there, and I spoke with them here and there, and it gave me some ideas. They seemed to enjoy what they were doing, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Awesome. Well, that's really neat. And I like it. You're taking, you saw, where mistakes were being made, where hang-ups were being made, and where people really needed to have that beneficial service, and that they weren't being able to receive that over where you were working. So you knew how to change that, adjust it, and provide it for people here locally. So that's awesome. That's really great. How are you liking this whole business, Amanda? I know you're sitting over there, but tell us a little bit about your, endeavor and your focus trajectory of the company itself.
It really seems to keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do really well with it.
Are you doing or accepting the phone calls, doing any of the
I
scheduling?
actually go out with him on the jobs and
Good.
and help.
What can you tell me a little bit about what you've learned through
I
this?
learned how to seal a roof.
Really?
Yeah. I learned a lot about plumbing.
Did you ever think that you would be doing that in your life?
No, not at all.
I know, right?
But, it is fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a cool thing to experience and to learn.
Yeah.
And it helps us spend time together as well.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
And our
Yeah.
daughter goes with us a lot too, so
Mhm.
it's a family endeavor.
Yeah, whenever my son is away from daycare, or he's a sick, some sort of policy where he can't be there, or they're just closed for the day or week, I take him around with me. He'll get on the mower. I mean, he loves to do everything with me, so I always try and implement him being there so we can learn at an early age a good work ethic and just a moral and ethical compass, as you will.
Yeah.
But all right, well, we've kind of already dived into how you got started, what made you choose the profession. Now let's talk about you. What is it that you offer that people don't know about, in essence? Like, is there something that you can provide the local community information-wise about what you provide service-wise that they don't know about?
Well, I tend to get a phone call, like let's say someone will recommend me for an air conditioning service. Folks tend to think that when I come to work on the air conditioner that might be the only thing that I work on. But it's a lot more than that. It's everything from roof maintenance, appliance services, making your appliances work better, getting them serviced up to date.
You do electrical work?
Lots of electrical work. It's weird. I never thought I'd do electrical work, but I actually like it, and it all makes sense to me. So,
right.
But something about campers that's different than homes that a lot of people don't know about is campers have two electrical systems on them. They have your standard 120 volt, but they also have a 12 volt system on it. That's what they have. They have breakers just like a home in a breaker box, but they also have a fuse panel, which a home doesn't have. So different things work off of the different electrical systems. Some of them require both electrical systems to work. But as far as things that I offer to the community, to Sheridan, and also to surrounding towns, is special rates. For instance, your first hour is included in the service call instead of having to pay service call plus hourly. Most jobs can be completed within, realistically, an hour or two. I'm not trying to stay out in the heat, obviously, so I'm trying to get them done
Especially
quick.
when we're at like 110, 115 heat index, I get it.
I get a lot of calls, and folks are obviously worried about how much money they're going to spend. And without seeing it, I can't necessarily tell them exactly how much they're gonna spend, but I can guarantee them that I'm not trying to stand out in the heat for long.
Yeah.
And the same with AC services. Whenever I go to service an AC, it's typically not working. So I'm trying to get it working as quick as I can to get the air going back for them and for me.
Yeah, I sympathize with that. It's funny because some of my interviews, I look like a hot mess because I've been running around outside for hours before I go give the interview. So I'm like coming in and my body's still cooling off. So I'm like sweating and I've got like a little paper towel. So I'm not like literally perspirating, dripping down while I'm doing the interview. It's like, I swear to God, I took a shower this morning and everything. I've just been running around. But anyway, well, so what is it? How long have you lived here, and why did you choose, Grant County and Sheridan?
Well, I lived here off and on. My parents lived here for a while. I lived here off and on through the summers. Whenever I was in college, I'd come home and stay here and work here locally. But as far as a family living here, my wife and I moved here in 2019, and for a number of reasons. Number one, we were gifted a home that was vacant that my family owned, which it was kind of hard to say no to that, you know.
Yeah.
We kind of just taken it and run with it. The school district here, we heard, was fantastic.
Nice, yeah.
My mom was a school teacher here for a little while and retired from here. But we have a daughter, so that was something that we obviously were going to be concerned with, and something that we talked about. That I had heard that the school was fantastic, so I didn't go here personally, but I always heard good things.
Yeah, the rapport of this area is very positive, and we're trying to make sure that is maintained and it stays this way. That's a big focus. We truly care about this. I do anyway. I'm speaking for myself here. So I'm very, very fond of this community. And I'm not from here originally myself. I'm from actually Shreveport and Ruston, Louisiana. But Ruston/Shudrint is very similar to this. And they preserved it. And they're like one of the only towns out of the whole state that actually put money back, the tax dollars back into their community, and you see it, the rest of the state doesn't. And so I wanted to continue that here if I can and help in any way. So that's kind of one reason for all this, and help, business owners and like yourself, community officials, and just provide a service out there. So if that's something we can do, let's make it happen. Now, segueing into, the local community and everything, what do you think it's important for us to shop local?
Well, if you don't shop local, then your local businesses will starve and they won't be here. We were talking about that the other day. We were looking at reviews online of some of the new businesses that had opened, some of the new food places, and some out-of-towners had left. They left a positive paragraph of how good their experience was, but they gave the company a 3 out of 5, and we thought that was kind of a bad thing, especially for an out-of-towner to do that, because it really affects Sheridan. We don't have a lot of things just opening up, and it's important to keep those things there so we're able to utilize them for restaurants or services.
Yeah, and that's kind of one thing that we need to, I would like to touch on in this. This is a great topic, because what we're seeing is we've got right now, the workforce is low, but the demand for all the work is high. So we've got this is real estate, everything, all my business owners and everything that I talk to daily. The workload and everything they have, they're so backed up because they've got all this work that they got to do that people need, and they don't have the arms and the labor force there to be able to provide the service as quickly and diligently as people want. But they have the professionalism and the experience that once they get there and everything it's done how they need it. So I feel like we're having an issue with that, where people are doing like 3-star ratings, instead of 5, because of hesitancy or expediency. They're trying to be fast, or they expect it to be fast. But in a smaller town like this, we've only got so many hands that can even do it, and they're already backed up. So we're supporting ourselves locally, but you got to understand the whole picture. The big picture is like we are already trying to support ourselves and keep it going. And so, you know, as an out-of-towner, maybe from a bigger city, they've got a lot more options. And so, you know, with that options, you're able to have it done much quicker and at your time frame, you know, but limited to the area. Then, especially if you want a good job, then you're going to hire the people that you know have good reputation and a referral. So anyway, I've noticed that too. I just think that's kind of neat. Like, how big are you looking to grow? What's your trajectory? That's, I guess, my question.
I think it's important to keep it kind of smaller. I don't foresee it being a gigantic company. It's hard to keep quality control and quality repairs and service whenever you just have a gigantic company. It's been difficult for me to hire on extra help and trust that individual to do a quality job without oversight. It's really important to me to for any work that's done to be done 100%, 110%, because in a business where I travel not only locally but across the entire state, I won't survive if I keep having to drive across the state or whatnot, or spend my day redoing repairs that weren't done right. But so, like any business owner, I think that it would be nice to eventually reach a point to where I have service trucks with quality technicians that I can trust drive them. But only being in business for 4 years so far, I haven't quite reached that point. I'm still learning and growing in the business. There's always something new to learn with RVs, new technology coming out every year with them. But at the same time, the demand is there for sure.
Oh yeah, the demand's definitely there.
But I just want to make sure that if I send somebody to a job, that it's going to be 100%. And at this point, I haven't quite got there, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, and again, that's where the hands and the employees and everything. It's hard to delegate when you can't trust delegating, and that's just prevalent everywhere.
She's probably the most trustworthy worker that I've found so far, because if she has a question, she'll ask instead of guessing or doing it wrong. So, but she helps out a lot.
Well, so are y'all looking to hire down the road potentially, or would you, maybe do interviews for anyone that's qualified or has years of experience? I guess that's kind of why I was asking, because if you're just, you two, do you have a plan to maybe add a few employees down the road?
Probably within the next 5 years, I'd say.
Okay.
I'd like to get to a point to where the company is established, financially stable. I'd like to be able to provide a work truck, to be able to provide all the tools that someone needs. That way, if I do hire somebody on, and when I do that they're fully equipped and not relying on their own dollars to try to do a quality job.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that kind of wraps it up for today. Just as some closing statements for everyone, can you go ahead and give them your contact information, like email, phone number to get in contact with you?
Sure. The business phone is 501-813-2566. That's Arkansas Mobile RV Service for on-site RV service and repair. The email address is arkansasmobilervservice@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Facebook. Look us up at Arkansas Mobile RV Service.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And again, everyone, this is Ethan Goldberg with Century 21 Parkers Realty, coming at you with the Grant County Gang. Come to me for any of your real estate needs, investment needs, property management needs. We work in all-encompassing real estate. So if you ever need anything, please give me a call and come see John and Amanda for any of your mobile RV services. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great one. Bless you.